In a small village nestled in the silent mountains of Asia, there lived a young man named Kenji. His life was peaceful, but he felt a deep emptiness inside him. Do you want to discover with Kenji how to fill this emptiness? Read on and immerse yourself in his story of awakening. It was as if something was calling him, a truth hidden beyond the world he saw with his eyes. Growing up in a society dominated by materialism and social expectations, Kenji could not find peace. The people around him were content with what they had, but Kenji knew there was more, something deeper that he could not see. Before we continue, subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on more inspiring stories like this. One day, while on a long, solitary walk, Kenji came across an ancient monastery hidden among the trees. The stone walls were covered in moss, and the sound of chanting came from within. Something inside him ignited. Cautiously approaching, he met an old monk, his gaze calm and penetrating, as if he were looking straight into Kenji's heart. The monk, whose name was Tenzin, invited him in. Without knowing why, Kenji accepted. From that moment on, a journey began that would change his life forever. Inside the monastery, Tenzin told him about the pineal gland, which was described as the third eye. This small organ, the monk said in a calm voice, is the bridge between the physical and spiritual worlds. When it is clouded by the illusions of the material world, it prevents us from seeing the truth. But when it is purified and awakened, it allows us to see beyond appearances and understand the nature of existence. Kenji, his heart filled with questions, asked, "How can I awaken this third eye? How can I see the truth?" Tenzin smiled kindly and replied, "This is not an easy path, young Kenji. It requires courage, sincerity, and an unwavering will to abandon all illusions. The first thing you must do is stop lying to yourself. Only then can you see who you really are." Have you ever heard of the pineal gland? Leave a comment below and share your experiences or knowledge on this fascinating subject. Those words struck a chord with Kenji. He realized how often he had put on masks to fit the expectations of others. He had told lies, not only to others, but especially to himself. His life was a series of compromises, a struggle to conform to an image that was not his own. Tenzin led him to a small room, bare but welcoming. "You will begin here," he said, "with meditation. Your mind is like a stormy sky. Only when the clouds dissipate will you be able to see the sun hidden behind them." Over the next few days and weeks, Kenji immersed himself in a routine of deep, silent meditation. He spent hours sitting in silence, trying to calm the tumult of his thoughts. But the more he tried to find peace, the more his mind filled with old memories, fears, and unresolved desires. It was as if every time he tried to break free, a new chain was holding him back. One day, during a particularly intense meditation, Kenji had a vision. He was in a vast, empty field, bound by invisible ropes. Each rope represented a lie, a false belief he had told himself throughout his life. The ropes were woven so tightly that he couldn't move. In front of him, a luminous figure appeared, similar to Tenzin, but with a divine aura. The figure said to him, "Every lie binds you, every truth sets you free." With great effort, Kenji began to recognize the lies that had shaped his life. He recognized the fear of judgment, the belief that he was not enough, the desire to be accepted by others. As he admitted each truth to himself, the strings slowly loosened. And with each string that broke, Kenji felt a new light ignite within him, a light that came from deep within his mind. Remember, the truth is always liberating. Take a moment today to reflect. Are there truths that you are avoiding seeing? When he awoke, Tenzin was there, sitting silently beside him. "You have begun to see, haven't you?" the monk asked in a calm tone. Kenji nodded, still reeling from the intensity of his vision. "Yes," he said, "but there is still much I do not understand." Tenzin looked at him with pity. "The truth is not something you learn all at once. It is a process, a journey, And like any journey, there will be obstacles along the way. One of the greatest obstacles is the calcification of your pineal gland. Kenji looked at the monk in confusion. Calcification? Tenzin explained that throughout our lives, the pineal gland can be clouded by various external and internal factors. The chemicals we inhale, the foods we eat, but most importantly, the negative thoughts and beliefs we accumulate. Fluoride, sugar, and other toxins contribute to this physical process, Tenzin said. But it is deception and self-delusion that calcify the spiritual aspect. Pay attention to your diet and your thoughts. Try eliminating sugar and toxins to help your body and mind stay pure. For days, Kenji continued to meditate, reflecting on Tenzin's words and purifying his body and mind. He began to eat only simple, natural foods and spent hours outdoors, allowing the sunlight to bathe his skin. He felt a change within him. His once chaotic mind began to calm down. His insights became clearer, as if a fog were slowly lifting. One afternoon, as he sat in meditation, Kenji felt a strange sensation between his eyes, in the center of his forehead. It was as if a small flower were blooming inside him. He felt a deep connection to everything around him, the mountains, the trees, the gentle wind blowing through the leaves. There was no longer any separation between him and the world. Everything was one, and he was part of it. He returned to Tenzin, his eyes shining with a new awareness. "Now I understand," he said. "The third eye is not just a metaphor. It is a door towards a deeper reality, a reality that I had never perceived before." Have you ever heard of the third eye? Share your thoughts in the comments. Tenzin smiled. You have taken a big step, Kenji. But remember, awakening is only the beginning. The real work now is to live with this awareness, to keep the third eye open, and to face each day with sincerity and compassion. Kenji spent many more years in the monastery, continuing to explore the depths of his consciousness. He learned to navigate the illusions of the world, increasingly attuned to the truth that came from his third eye. He became an example to others, but never considered himself superior. He was, as Tenzin had taught him, a simple traveler on the path to enlightenment. In time, he left the monastery and traveled the world, taking the lessons he had learned with him. Wherever he went, he spread the message of awakening, encouraging everyone he met to look within and break free from the lies that held them captive. The truth really can change your life. Sign up to never miss out on more inspiring stories like Kenji's.